Craig, Kevin, Wilson are already here. We got a few more people chiming in. Get this situated. I have a few new watches in I can share with you guys. Let's see. Slop John's here. Bean Boy's here. Jim T's checking in. As the people roll in, let's see here. 11, Randy Marsh checking in. Wrist check. Wearing my son's Seiko Monster that I built. Let's see, Sean is here. Pale Horse checking in. This thing looms up so good with this full loom bezel. You know, not to be nitpicky, NH Rick checking in, but these more affordable brands, and when then you put these aftermarket bracelets on, like just the function of this clasp, it just like it'll like hang up on me a little bit, and and you just don't get that when I wear like the Rolex or the Tudor or even the Breitling. Like they just don't do that. So I really like the Seikos and the aftermarket strap code bracelets and everything, but they are definitely on the more affordable side of things. They're still nice, but it's the little details that just kind of add up to it not being quite as nice for sure. Be careful, that blue swatch might stain the bench. You know what? I think it's done. I don't think it's gonna stain anymore. The more I think about it and really what happened, and I don't know if I should make another video or not, but I really think when they did the printing on the back or engraving, that maybe they left some residue from that. I don't know if it actually was seepage from the case. It's hard to say, but it hasn't done it since, and I've worn it plenty, and none of the other colors do it. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. Jason's checking in from Aruba. Tennessee Mike is here. Dirk is here. Phil is here. He says he picked himself up a DW 5610 today and he loves it. That's awesome. Offhand air gunner in the house. Cowboy Swami in the chat. Rock the Watch is here. Homer here, of course. Manny, my buddy Manny's checking in from California. Mr. JJ. Let's see. David. Marco is checking in from hi and greetings from Switzerland. So the Sarge checking in from Maryland. Trying to read the comments, guys. I skipped over some stuff here. Big Wrist is here. Nathan's here. Detroit Spartan here. Jason with an inappropriate comment saying dibs on Uranus. See, the jokes are just endless with that watch. Brave Sailor here. Looks like you changed your username to match your Discord name. That's cool. Todd checking in from Colorado. We have the man, I'm gonna mess up your name. Valisios checking in from Greece. Patty checking in from Tasmania. We got some people from all over the world here. Floridian checking in from Jax. I'm assuming Jacksonville. Detroit Spartan with another joke. The jokes are just endless. Farshid checking in from San Francisco. I will be in San Francisco in a few weeks, so maybe I'll see you there. Daniel checking in from Panama. Kevin Powell here. We got quite a few people chiming in. That's awesome. You guys are sounding off. I appreciate it. Mike checking in from Canada. So, yep. Just got the Tiffany colored swatch in. And there's a pretty good backstory on this one as well. So this is the last Tiffany mission to Uranus from the Las Vegas location. And it went to number 37 in line. It was the guy that was directly behind me. I was number 36. Number 37 picked up the last mission to Uranus from that queue. So there was a run on the this model in the early parts of the queue. There was a large family from all different ages that were commissioned, from what I could tell, were commissioned to basically walk up, and some of them maybe didn't even speak English very well, handed a note, handed the cash, and took this watch and left. So they did a pretty good run on this one at Vegas anyway. And I suspect elsewhere too. That was probably one of the first ones to sell out in many locations. It's just that Tiffany color, I guess, whatever. It's just hot. Let's see. Anybody want to tell me what you're wearing on your wrist tonight? I wore the Monster Monday all day. And I'll tell you why. Because I did. Little sparky spark there. That's why. Because the loom on this thing is crazy. Yeah. That is why. I got to upgrade some of my equipment in here, man. I'll tell you what. I got to change some things in the room. All right, let's read some comments. I'm sure there'll be some jokes. Big Wrist wearing the North flag. That is awesome. Jim T claiming to wear a Tudor Pro. He swooped up one of those already. I didn't even think that was possible. Pale Horse with a nice little jab at the mission to Uranus. Marco liked the square Sortina, sad it's not automatic. It is a very cool watch, even in its quartz configuration. Tennessee Mike wearing the 62 MAS from Seiko. Colin wearing the Squally Tropic, like that one. Larry C checking in, probably wearing one of his modded Seikos, maybe, Larry. Pope Kosh wearing the Inox from Victorinox. Homer's wearing his Seamaster Quartz. Let's see, Power of Hydrogen, Orient Sun and Moon. Grand Seiko Quartz, 9F Quartz from Todd today. That would be my pick. If I was going to ever pick up a Grand Seiko, I would also get the 9F. Thumbs for Finger wearing a 5610 work watch. Mike Zane, MM300. That's a grail watch for so many Seiko fanboys for sure. Let's see, Cascadia EDC, Boulder Expedition, White Sands version. That's awesome. Big Wiener Watches, interesting username, wearing a 5KX. I have one here on the desk. Dirk actually wore one of my earlier, like one of my favorite builds. He was wearing that thing today, so that was cool to see the pictures, him posting that up today. Let's see, Randy wearing the carbon fiber square. Jacob, he says, my wrist is sporting the Tissot Chaman des Torellos GMT Flyer GMT. I'm not familiar with that at all. AZ Taz wearing an ISL 44 green dial. Nathan wearing a Samurai. Man, we have quite the array of watches. Phil asking, that Monster is sick. Do they wear big? No, Monsters wear kind of smaller, honestly. Patty H wearing the classic SKX 007. I may wear this tomorrow. I don't think I can wear the Monster more than one day, that one anyway, or maybe I'll wear my orange one. Cardona wearing his 1,000-meter Tuna. That was the one I had on the show not that long ago. He loaned in. That's an awesome watch. It's super lightweight but larger. Kevin S wearing the Grand Seiko Diver tonight, the SBGX 335. Daniel, Green Alpinist, after a long time in the box. Peter wearing a Zen 556. Craig wore his Seamaster Professional 300 Tokyo. That's the white dial with the blued indices and the blue ceramic bezel. That one's really cool. Marco wearing his, switched over to his Aqua Racer GMT. Larry C is wearing his Glycine Airman. I had that on the show, or one like it anyway. All right. I cannot keep up with the list. You guys are really cranking through this list. Cowboy Swami with a $5 hair super chat. Hey, Rob, do you like Dornbluth? I have no idea what Dornbluth is. I will have to look that up. I have to let me write that down, Mr. Cowboy. Dornbluth. I'll have to look that up. I picked up a new computer, little side story. I picked up a new iMac. It was an open box. I don't usually like buying the open box stuff from Best Buy. It's usually fine for most people, but I picked it up and I was like, wow, it's a pretty good deal. I don't know why somebody returned it. Maybe because it was the Tiffany blue and they didn't want that one. I got it all set up. I'm using it. I'm loving it. I got two screens now. And before I was starting the live stream, I heard this like high pitched squeal. I'm like, what is that? So I'm like trying to figure out where this high pitched squeal is coming from. I think one of the cooling fans inside this new iMac is probably having some clearance issues or the bearing's bad or something, and it's making a high pitched squeal inside the stupid iMac. And it's an open box one, so I either have to send it in for a manufacturer warranty, which I don't know what that looks like. That's probably a pain in the butt, or I have to just return it to Best Buy and then I don't know, order something new. I don't even know what I'm gonna do yet, but I can't have that squealing there. That's gonna drive me nuts, especially if I try to do live streams from the iMac, which was part of the reason why I wanted to do it. But I definitely can't have that. That thing was driving me nuts. And it's not like you can open these things up and fix it. Otherwise, I could. But YZ80 checking in. That's awesome that you're here. He's also in my private Discord. Brandon Bishop, you still doing gas work? Not right now. I'm doing a live stream. Welcome to the live stream. But yeah, for my day job, I do. Detroit Spartan says, didn't your friend Detroit Spartan teach you to buy new premium gear? I would have, Mr. Detroit, but they had no stock up here. They had no iMacs. The only other option I would have been able to do is pick up a mini Mac, which I might actually do. I might take this back. I might go get a premium monitor, get the mini Mac, and then just get a I don't like doing all the components though, because I like the integration that Apple has that it just works. But we'll see. I might just get a good what do you call it? Camera so that I can do my live streams from. I don't know. It would be cheaper for me to do it that way anyway. Because the mini Mac is like $700 and then I can pick up a 4K monitor for around $300. So that would be I'd be $1,000 in there, and then $100 for the um, camera. That's my biggest concern is the camera. Did I check out the Mac Studio? Yeah, but I don't want to spend that much. It's a lot of money. My buddy Jack from Jack's Watches EDC just texted me a little bit ago from his doorbell camera. FedEx was delivering his new Omega that he's been patiently waiting for. And they didn't like he was there and they didn't knock. I'm sure you guys can relate to this. You probably have had this happen. They mark it so they undeliverable or something like that. But at least they came to the door. So I don't know if they were just expecting they just see the camera and they're expecting you to just be like, oh, okay, delivery person's here, I'm gonna go get it or something. I don't know. So bummer. Hopefully they try again tomorrow, but you won't be there, so you might have to just go to the FedEx facility or something. Will Carey checking in. Andre is asking, who's silver Black Bay 58? This is the Black Bay 58 36 millimeter with the smile dial, indicating that it has a third party movement in it. Any smile dial tutor is going to have a non-tutor movement in there. This belongs to. Oh, shoot, I'm going to mix it up. Oh, I can't remember. Dang it! I deal with so many watches, guys. I forget. It's a member of my MM10 is asking, is it for sale? I don't think it is. He sent me a few watches, 4 watches, but I don't think he intended any of them to be for sale. So I'll let you know though. Does it have the ETA? It might have the ETA. It might have the Solita. He gave me permission to pull the case back off. It's Neff. That's who it is. Neff gave me permission to pull the case back off and confirm that. I suspect if most newer tutors are going to have the Solita movement in there. No guarantee, but probably. Hey, Hector from Winding Crowns is checking in. Will Rizzo's here. Kevin S says, my Mac guy just texted me from somewhere in California to let me know about some new releases. Awesome, dude. Yeah, so that's the other thing is I could just take this back, use my old iMac for a little bit longer. It doesn't. My old iMac, it doesn't have enough RAM really to deal with Google Chrome, and you have to have, I have to run Google Chrome to run that StreamYard. So if I wait a little bit, I think they are releasing some the next level of Macs. So. Tim Moore says, "Bonjour, Rob. How does that 36 millimeter Tudor look on your wrist?" I can't barely get it on my wrist. I'd have to add a couple links, and then I could probably get it on there. But honestly, I could wear it. It looks fine. I would prefer the 41, but really they come out with that 39. Now I want to see how thick the 39 is because it does an in-house movement, and the initial release of the 39 is going to be in the S&G, so it's going to be two-tone with the gold. So yeah, and I think they might have the newer quick adjust clasp on there. I personally wouldn't go with the 36 with my size wrist, but whatever. MM10 says if they sold the 39 in the blue dial, he would buy it. They will give it time. The fact that they brought out the 39 in the two-tone, I would suspect that the other models are not too far behind, and they went with their in-house movement. So check out this new Seiko, guys. Mimo sent this over. I don't know. Something about this thing is just resonating with me. I love the complexity of the dial and everything, and it has a pretty dang affordable price point of only 285. So you get a little discount on that. And I think your golden has that squared off edges on it. Kind of reminds me of an older Citizen that I had, and that oversized pusher button for the to start the chronograph, and then a smaller reset. Kind of interesting layout, but I like the size of it and everything. Not a huge fan of this strap, but let me pop it on wrist real quick. I would pair this up with something different. I mean, this strap works fine, I guess. I don't know. I might end up picking this up. I haven't bought a affordable Seiko in a long time. I might pick this up off from Mimo. This thing's pretty slick. I'm digging it. I actually really like this watch. I like the size. I like the tachometer inside. I like the weird button layout. And it has a mecha quartz in it with the running seconds at the 6 o'clock. I'm digging it. I think I'm going to pick this up. I just need to put a different strap on it or cut off the extra and make it. I just don't like the added thickness of a double pass. And I don't like fumbling around with straps like that. So I am really digging that one. I want to point out this one. Check out this too. Look at the way the strap is done on this Bulova. So it has regular spring bars on it, like it's a two-piece, but then they have this safety lower part on here to capture it. That is a slick way to do a strap system. I don't know if anybody does that in the aftermarket. That's pretty slick. And then they have the riveted metal rings on there, and that's a pretty slick watch. Somebody asked what size this is. Let's grab the tool. Let's see here. So if we measure there to there, like 41. Yeah, it's like 41. This is a nice sized watch by like 48, 47 and a half. Really, I'm kind of going to the extent there. About 12 and a half thick. It has a Hardlex crystal. I'm fine with that. At this price point, I'm fine with that. I am blown away at this watch. I love the pop of orange. They probably come in different colorways too, but this thing is legit. I like it. What is the lug width? Because I'm going to put a different strap. So 22 millimeter. I'm just going to have to find a different strap for this. Maybe some like rally leather, something with some holes in the leather. It might fit that, kind of make it look more like racing chronograph or something. I'm digging it. I think I just bought myself a new affordable Seiko, guys. Let's see. Jacob says it definitely doesn't capture it on the below, but yeah, I have to think about it a little bit. It just I like the strap layout on it, regardless of what it does. Wilson here with his wrench. Be careful. He likes to use it. Let's see. Kevin S says, very hard to predict which watches Rob will like. He is an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Okay. Thanks, Kevin, I guess. Y- you're kind of, are you surprised that I like this one? Kay or Joy saying, ever have one of those Bulova Aero Jets? I don't think I have so. Is my wrist still turning blue? Negative on the blue wrist. The blueness has stopped coming off the watch. There's no problems there. Cowboy Swami with a $5 here super chat says, LOL, I remember back in the day we used to talk about everything guns, cars, and watches. Only 30 people in chat. Crazy. Do you think Alpina is underrated? I think they are. I think Alpina is a great brand. I haven't looked at any of their newer releases. I know Mimo was carrying that brand, but I don't know if he still is or not. So, a lot of their watches that I really liked, Cowboy, ended up being, I think they, for me personally, they felt like they were a little too large. So I ended up not really gravitating toward them. But I know they have some smaller ones too. Kevin Powell says, maybe you like it in the same way that you liked the Honda Casio. Maybe. Random Rob just put some blue paint on his wrist for the views. Oh yeah, right. Well, there was other channels that were seeing it too, and then I've noticed there were some other channels that even took the Q-tip and water or whatever and tried other models too to see if there was any coloring coming off any of the other ones as well. And so far, it just seems like it's the um, Neptune. So yeah, this one I just got this one in. So these are still really hard to get, but I had like kind of the inside hookup with this one because this was the guy that was right behind me in line, number 37. I was number 36. And like I said earlier in the chat, this was the last Tiffany mission to Uranus at the Las Vegas location. So after this one, they completely sold out. Very cool. These watches are just fun, guys. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, but as I have the ability to potentially buy more, I might just start to collect them. I think I'm excited that I was part of history, or I might just get jerky and I might like decide to do a giveaway or something on that. But if I do it that way, it'll be something very unique the way I do it. Kevin Powell says he has a fitted strap for a speedy on the way and still no moon swatch. LOL. The man, I'm torn. I like earlier for like the last few days, I was like, I definitely want a 3861 uh, Omega Speedmaster, right? And then I don't know. Fast forward now, I was back on the track of even looking at the 2500 42 millimeter Planet Ocean, but I still feel like I kind of need to check that box for the Speedmaster, but I don't have $7,000. I mean, even if I were to able to get a deal on it, which is highly unlikely because they're hot right now, uh, it's going to be a while. NH Rick asking about the Mont Blanc GMT just announced looks amazing. I did. I'm trying to do some research on that watch. Do you guys know what movement is in that GMT from Mont Blanc? The one with the inner disc, the cool, almost diver looking one, not like any of their crazy high end ones, but the like $3,000 or $4,000 one. I have to find out what movement is it because if it's just the Salida, then it's really not that exciting to me. I guess I don't know. Trying to read comments, guys. The comments are coming so fast, so it's hard. I might miss your comment for sure. The white dial variant on that Seiko Chrono. Love it. Yeah, you guys are talking about that quartz solar chrono, I think, from Seiko. I feel like I need to find a 22 millimeter strap and swap it over on this. I mean, this is a nice enough strap. It's just, it's not my favorite. Yeah, I am actually digging this watch. If it was a 20 millimeter, I got the answer, but IT guy says he thought Mont Blanc developed their own movements. I think they did on their higher end ones. I don't know if that they're going to be in like their diver and their GMT. They're probably just going to be Solitas, like Scott said. Yeah, they do the 500 hours of testing, I think, on all their automatic watches, but the rest of the watch kind of looks like it's just a mass produced regular watch. It doesn't look like anything special per se, but I'll kind of hold my reserve until I see one in person. The watch mission says, Rob, how do you think the crown engages the movement in that new Cartier? Listen, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the Cartier that with the movement in the rotor. The first time I saw that, I was just like, all right, first of all, super cool. Second of all, I have a ton of questions. One, the first question was exactly what you just said. Why is there a crown there? And if there is a crown there, how does the crown interface with that movement? I don't, that's like, it would have to be magic. There's no way that crown is other than just looks on there. I don't know how you set the time on that thing or anything because it doesn't make any sense. So, and I doubt I'll ever see that watch, but hopefully somebody can give an in-depth review on that and explain how to set the time and how it works because the movement is constantly moving. So how do you do that? Sam H, going to the wind-up fair. So I am going to the San Francisco one and the Chicago one. The San Francisco one is like April 22nd, so in a few weeks. So I will be there. And then the Chicago one is in July, I don't know, mid-July. So I'll probably be going to that one too. No Long Island watches. I do have a Long Island watch, just not out on the table. I have a bunch more watches behind me. These are just some of the fresh ones that just came in. So let's see. Kevin Powell. I doubt I'll ever see the Grand Seiko double tourbillon crazy. Yeah, that watch is like a engineering marvel. So maybe one day, maybe we'll go into like a Grand Seiko boutique and they'll have one on display or something. That's about the only way you'll ever see one. So. Will Rizzo says he thinks the hands are pivoted on the crystal. I'd have to, I don't know. I don't, I really don't. There's more questions on that watch than any other watch I've seen, and I've seen some pretty crazy watches. Jordan says he's going to pick up one of the Seiko Solar Chronos from Mimo, thanks to Rob. Yep, make sure he knows I sent you, okay? Sean Holloway says he'll be at the Chicago wind-up show. Sean, if you see me there, come up and say hello. Sam's dad's mustache wax. Very interesting username. Is King Turtle or King Samurai better? Depending on what you like. I personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Turtle, but I do prefer Seikos with offset crowns, so I would probably pick the Turtle over the Samurai, but whatever. Lev says the Mont Blanc is the Solita SW295. I'm not familiar with the 295. See, I told you, Wilson's throwing around your wrench. Someone's playing around. You're going to get the wrench from Wilson. Kevin S. says he loves hearing Rob talk Cartier. I don't do deep dives on crazy watches and movements and stuff like that, so it's not my strong point for sure. So I'm definitely out of my element, Kevin, when talking certain brands. Is the Alpinist a must-have for a collector? No, no watch is a must-have for a collector. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Like for a collector, you get what watches you like. That's how you collect. There's no like must-haves in a collection. You can appreciate any watch. You can appreciate and like the way an Alpinist looks or wear. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to own it. Kevin asks, will Rob be signing autographs at both watch fairs? I will not be signing autographs. If I see you, as long as I have enough, I will give you a card. And I may have, I got to talk to my buddy Wet Watches and see about maybe I might have some more poker chips made up. So I might be able to hand out some of these for people. I think we're having a San Fran one made up. I got to check with them. Aussie Expat in the chat says he's wearing a Seiko Alpinist today. That's pretty cool. Anonymous Watch Guy checking in late. No problem. Glad to have you here. Detroit Spartan says he will sign for me for 20 doll hairs. That's interesting. I don't even really want to sign anything, let alone charge for my signing. Emilio, has the new moon swatch taken over the place from a watch that you thought was a staple in your collection, or has it been genuine new chapter? It definitely hasn't taken a place of anything. What it has done for me is added another layer of excitement within the watch community and just being part of that historic moment, because the reality is it was a historic moment. So I was excited to be part of the Las Vegas chapter of the initial launch of these. Aussie expat with a joke. Hey, he can do Neptune jokes. No other watch gives me the blues like the Neptune. So the only thing it's really done for me is it's actually increased my desire to, well, not even increase, it actually produced the desire to own a real Omega 42 millimeter 3861 watch. So whereas I didn't actually have that one on my radar before. So we'll see. See, Nigel checking in from Australia. Just say, Kevin Powell says, just say professional. The Speedmaster Professional Sapphire Sandwich. I'm still learning. Yeah, but I want the 3861, right? So I want the new one. Yeah, MM10. The Omega Speedy Meta Sapphires. And the deeper you dig into Speedmaster, there's some really cool old models that I'm discovering that I like. Tom is asking, do I have any new sneakers? No, I do not. I am still on the hunt, but I'll probably be wearing, I have a fairly new pair of 990 version 4 or 5, I can't remember, but they're in a full orange nubuck. So I'll probably be wearing those in the San Francisco meet. That's just water, don't worry about it. The Alaska Project is a cool Speedmaster. I'm not a big fan of the Alaska Project one. Sam's dad says, do you think Rado counts as a luxury watch? Entry level, yeah. Brave Sailor asking at F1. I do not follow the F1 series at all. Aussie Expat says he calls it the Speedy 3861 Sapphire Sandwich. It is worth being that specific. I'm assuming that's the exact one you have. I was able to catch it on Aussie's wrist while we were in Vegas, but I didn't like check it out. I probably should have, but he was busy live streaming, getting in people's faces, intruding their space. No, just getting the story of what was going on. But maybe the next time I go out there, I'll check it out. But maybe by the next time I go out there, I'll have one. I'm messing with you, Ozzy, too. You know that. So for the most part, when you watch the video and just seeing you interact with everybody, most people were very intrigued with what you were doing and willing to interact. Andre says, have I liked the Formax field? I do. They actually just sent me another one, the black dial one with the black strap. Hey, there's Neff. We were just talking about you earlier. So these are really cool, fun watches for sure. Nice lightweight titanium, uh, nice Solita automatic movement, great lume on it. No, it was all good. Somebody was asking about your Black Bay 36, which I'm going to do the video on and get that shipped back to you. But yeah, these are crazy comfortable. There's a premium they charge for the leather strap with the carbon patented clasp system, but it's definitely worth going to the premium and getting the leather and everything. Will Carey saying better or equal to bunker? I would say it's kind of equal, but then as soon as you add like the hardware that Formax provides, then they're better than Swiss Watch Company. Like the watch designs are going to be the big factor. Like which one do you like more? So, and to be completely honest with you, there is that new design from Swiss Watch Company that's coming out. I like more, but like I kind of like this one maybe a little bit more than the bunker, just because it's, I don't know, there's a little bit more going on. And then really it comes down to this clasp system and this strap. It's just so comfortable. Kevin S says Scotch question mark? No, I'm drinking salty caramel whiskey. It's delicious. I don't know what else to say. MM10 saying Formax versus Christopher Ward, design and value. Again, depending on the model and what strap or bracelet you go with, like Formax brings a lot to the table when they come to creating something different and new that is still functional and works really good. I'll be able to see, and if you go to one of those wind-up shows, you'll be able to see the Formax and the Christopher Wards all in one spot. I don't think Swiss Watch Company is going to be there, though. Yeah, the Formax is a lot more money, though, so you got to look at that. Kevin Powell says he used a little Formax with the lemon scent to mop the floor last night. That's nice. That's the only downside. I know they changed their logo and everything. It's just kind of a weird name, but I know some people don't really care for it, though. Manny asking if there was any pussers in Las Vegas. No. I think they took it off the market. I know Wet Watches has been looking all over for some pussers rum, but I think thankfully they took it off the market, realizing that it was doing more harm than good to the general public. Time for Watches says, I see a 38 millimeter solar Seiko diver on the table. You do. I just got this in from Mimo. My first look at this was the SNE 585 caliber V147, $500 retail price. This is a really nice smaller size diver, very traditional in its case shape and everything. 3 o'clock crown. I think this is going to be a really good hit with the watch buying public that like have they either have smaller wrist or prefer the smaller watches. How does it fit on wrist? I don't know. I literally just opened it up. I haven't even played with it, so I don't know. It works. I could wear it. It works on my wrist size. I don't like this size of a diver on my wrist, but like I could totally wear it. I tried one on, and it was Kevin wasn't super convinced on it. Steel Steez is waiting for a sea urchin from Tissot. Not familiar with that one. JB says Tudor Black Bay 58 or Omega Aquaterra. Apples and oranges, man. If you want a diver, go with the Black Bay 58. If you want a non-diver, regular everyday type wear watch, get the Aquaterra. I think the Aquaterra is a lot more money. Let's see. Rodden, do I own any Tag Heuer? No, I do not. AZ Taz, people get way too bent out of shape over names and logo. Who's plunking down the money to design and manufacture them? Question mark. Yeah, I think people get bent out of shape for many different reasons, but there is something that comes with some of these bigger brands. Their quality levels are straight up better. After handling all these watches, there's just all the little things that come into play that just works so much better. Do you know Zelos comes out with more of a specific watch after they sell out? I don't know what Zelos does for their models and everything. I have they haven't even been working with me lately, so Detroit Spartan says Rob loves his Formex. The man has two rollies, but loves to tell everybody he's wearing his Formex. Um, I don't know if I would go that far, Mister Detroit. Like, I prefer wearing my Breitlings, my Tudor, my Rolex, my Longines, and my G-Shock. Those are the ones that are actually in my watch box. Those are the ones I wear on a regular basis, but I can still enjoy all these other watches. NH Rick, I will read your comment. Listen, NH Rick says Rob won't ask, so please. He didn't say please. I added the please. So please take a minute and hit the like button on the live stream. Yeah, I usually don't ask people to like or subscribe or anything like that, but you guys all know how to use YouTube. If you like the video, you'll like the video. If you want to subscribe, you'll subscribe. I think we all know how it works. Detroit is asking if I'm defensive much. No, I'm just correcting a false statement that you made. No big deal. Do you agree that if you want to buy a Black Bay 36 or Black Bay 41 under 4K, you should get one now? It looks like the future Black Bay. So MM10, you do have a good point, actually. Very good point. So I think it's going to be some time. I think you have time. It's not like you need to go do it like today or tomorrow or something like that. But if you, I personally like the smile dial, the self winding part of it here, where it says on an arch. So that's why it's called a smile dial. I personally like that on these, but they're usually, or not usually, that 100% means you're getting a non in house movement. So, uh, with the release of the 39 and some other sizes with their in house movement, the writing's on the wall. 100% MM10, you're right. The writing is on the wall that the future releases from Tudor, they will go with a straight text and they will have their in-house movement. It's only a matter of time. I suspect it's going to happen probably this year, later this year, and a lot of it comes down to the fact that they're a brand that should be using their own movements, and it also gives them more control. Whereas before they were using the ETAs got scarce, so they had to use the Solitas, and they had to change it, so they call it like their caliber. So again, all of that adds up to the fact that they want to maintain control of it. They're going to use their own in-house movement. So if you want the smile dial or you want the non-in-house movement Tudor Black Bays, yeah, you might want to pick one up in the next few months. Kevin says the hands are thinner on the new S&G as well. Interesting. JB with a compliment. Thank you very much. Some language I cannot read is asking where my sub is. I cannot read your username. Sorry, I don't know what the symbols mean. Yes, I still have my sub. It's right here. You can see it's depleted of power reserve. MM10 saying that yes, it's in house, but it's thicker. I didn't get confirmation on the thickness of the new Black Bays. That's one of my biggest gripes with the Black Bay lineups. Even like that Black Bay Pro, that thing should not be what is it, like 14, um, oh, I guess his name was Jan. Okay, thank you. So yeah, that new GMT from Black Bay or from Tudor should not be like 14.6 millimeter thick, 14.8, whatever it is. It should not be that thick. There's no way. I mean, come on. They can do better than that. So I I still want to see one, and I hope I get to see one at some point and video it, but there's no way I'm buying one of those. I'm not going to own that. And this is coming from a guy that has, I have the Tudor Pelly, and it is a thick boy, right? Yes, this is a keeper. I will not be selling the Submariner at all. I might even wear it here again soon. I have a really nice lineup of watches. Life is good. I am in a very good place in my watch. I mean, think about that. The Pelly is 14.3. The big bad boy thick Pelly that everyone said was ridiculous. It was too thick. It does not need to be that thick. And then they come out with the Tudor Black Bay Pro, and it's even thicker than this. And everyone's like, yeah, it's thick, but it's really cool. It's like, no, guys, it's too thick. If you want to speak with your dollars and you want to tell Tudor to make thinner watches, don't buy their watch. Let them sit there. The reason that watch isn't going to work, I think, for a lot of people is because not only is it 14.6 millimeter thick, but it's only 39. And then I forget what the lug to lug is. It's one thing to have a thicker watch, but if you spread it out, then it lays out on wrist better. So like the Tudor GMT is still a thick watch, but it's it's 41 or whatever by 50 or something, so it's spread out, so it disperses the thickness a little bit better. I feel the same way when I look at the Planet Oceans. I really want an Omega Planet Ocean, but the only one I would buy is the 42 millimeter with the 2500 movement. And that one's like 14 millimeter thick, I think, or 13 something. Um, so as soon as you go to the 8500 movement, it's like almost 16 millimeter thick. And then you go to the 89, like the newer ones. I mean, they're thicker yet again. They're just, I'm not going to deal with it. This is my max right here. This is, what did I just say? 14.3. And then if you look at even like my automatic chronograph from Longines, let's see. If you look at this guy, even with this is like just over 14 and a half, but it has a boxed and double dome sapphire crystal, and it's a chronograph. So it should be thicker. An automatic chronograph is going to be a thicker watch for sure. So I'm totally fine with some watches being thick like this because it's explainable, but I'm not okay with a 39 millimeter Tudor Pro GMT being 14.6. Not cool. Davy says that's what I have, Rob. 42 millimeter Planet Ocean 2500, and it's about 14.4 thick, and it wears great. I was able to try one. I had late breakfast with David out in Las Vegas, and he has one. He put it on the factory orange rubber strap from Omega, and it wears so good. Like I really want one. So now I'm torn. And really, price is probably going to be a deciding factor. Well, that and a couple other things. So get this. Let me explain my next watch, other than like buying like cheap Seikos and stuff. Pretty sure my next watch is going to be an Omega. I want the twisted lugs. Obviously, I want a stainless steel or a titanium. These plastic ones are not a replacement. They're not going to work for me. So originally, I wanted that 42 millimeter 2500 Planet Ocean. I like divers. Like a lot of you guys, I just like dive watches, right? Then I kind of fell in love with the Speedy, but I'm not huge on manual wind watches anyway. So, and it's like 7,000. Even if I got like a crazy influencer hookup from an AD that wants to use me to push their AD and stuff like that, and say I got a ridiculous discount off, it's still going to be more than what I could find a pretty clean 42 PO 2500 movement. I can probably pick one up with one of those for around $4 grand. I hate buying used watches is the problem, and there's a lot of fakes out there. Somebody's asking how thick my AK is. About 13.5 millimeter, about the same thickness as a Seiko diver. So I kind of go back to I think I'm gonna get the Planet Ocean. I think that's gonna be my next watch and that's the one I had wanted for a while. I think I'm gonna go back to the Planet Ocean. I want to get as late as I can in the production year. So 2010, I think was the last year they made them. So I'll try to do that. Also, I already have a chronograph. I'm not huge into chronographs anyway. I already have a chronograph and it's titanium, grade 5, and it's an automatic, and it has a column wheel. So all of those things, I don't know, kind of make it more appealing to me than a Speedy really is. I just want those. I want those twisted lugs that the Omega offers. I'll try to read some comments. Oh, Nate Dog says the new AK. The new AK is going to be a lot thinner. So my AK is what did I say? 13 and a half. I bet you that new one's probably like just over 12 millimeter thick. I'll bet you. Anybody know how thick the new AK is? I bet you it's about 12.44 millimeter thick. What do you guys think? Because I have a sneaky suspicion that the new AK is basically a 41 millimeter Submariner, but with a fixed bezel. I think it's really close to it. Because even if you measure this, like they say this is 41 millimeter, but when you measure it, it's like 40 and a half. It's not 41. So I don't know if that's what they did or not, but yeah, 12 millimeter. That new AK is basically almost the exact same watch as this right here, except for with a fixed bezel and then with the upgraded dial, larger hands than the older AK. I like this combination right here. I will not be picking up the new AK. I just I don't want a thinner AK. I like the thickness of my AK. I like the weight of my AK. I like that it has a Faraday cage. MM10 said he's going to pick up the new Speedy. Well, maybe I can check out yours. Matt from Rock the Watch says the new TCL chronograph is fire. I'm going to check with Lacitos as soon as they get one in. I want to check it out. Wet Watches is checking in. Who wants a fixed bezel? Question mark. Yeah, right. We like divers, right? We like fidget spinners. Steele says he just picked up the new AK yesterday. Left me a comment. I'm over the moon, super thin. Yeah, send me an email if you seriously picked one up. I'd be curious to check it out, see some pictures or something. I don't know where you live, but email me because I'll be able to see one. Hopefully, like if Lacido gets it in or Tappers or something like that. Hopefully, I can get downstate Michigan to check it out. 911 Dan, exactly. That's my biggest problem with buying used and definitely luxury used. He says, careful with the first gen Planet Ocean. The super clones are scary good. Yeah, so the only way I'm going to do it, like I've never bought a watch off from Chrono 24, but if I were to pick one up there, then I need to go talk to a local watchmaker in my area, and I would have to get it in. I need to get it to them, have it checked out. I don't even really want to do that process. I would rather pick it up from someone that has already opened it up and looked at it. If it needs a service, fine, let's get it serviced. It's basically a 2892 movement. You know, a good watchmaker should be able to service that up, no problem. So I'll probably talk with the guy that out in Salt Lake City area that Bruce Williams uses. He's a big Omega fan, and I think he has a 2500. Yeah, 911 Dan. I could go through the eBay authentication, I suppose, but even that, I don't know if I truly trust it. I trust working with a reputable watchmaker that I know, and then having them verify it, and then checking it out and everything. So I'm very, very leery of that. So it's probably going to be a while before I pick one up. besides the fact that I don't have $4,000 right now. Sam's dad says he likes the Christopher Ward's design. He just doesn't want some guy's full name on my watch. Yeah, that could be a challenge. Neff says the eBay authentication is really good. I hear they go to people like Luxury Bazaar. Supposedly, they are an eBay authenticator. Maybe I will go through eBay then. Maybe that's the way to go. NH Rick is telling me we have 27 minutes left, so we're a little over halfway. There's some serious fibbing going on there. I think we're at like 55 minutes. Zayed, is it Zaid? Zaid? Hope it's going well, Rob. Great seeing you in Las Vegas. Where did I see you in Las Vegas? Were you in line with me? I I didn't exchange contacts with people that I meant to. I met some really awesome people in line waiting for these silly plastic watches that I really wish I would have shared some contact with. I gave my card to a few of them, and I would hope that they would email me. So if you're one of the guys in line that I gave you the card, email me so we can exchange contact information. MM10 says eBay saved him from a seller that lied on description and refunded me before I even had to do anything. They even sent photos. Wow, man, maybe that really is the way to go. Interesting. This is good, solid info, guys. Detroit Spartan says, does Rob have a stalker? No, I don't think I have any stalkers. I think we have some really good people in the watch community that have been meeting out there, and I'm bad with names, so and we didn't exchange contacts. So Seiko SNK all the way. All right, B and M says mission to moon or Mercury. I would go with the Mercury if I had the choice between the two. Wet Watches says, so good to finally meet you in Vegas too, Rob. Was fun. Number 35 in line. I was number 36. Yeah, we were right next to each other. I don't know that Wet Watches or Mrs. Wet was really in the mood to wait for 15, 17 hours or whatever we did in that line, but we did it. We had a good time. I think uh, Wet Watches and I actually even shared a foot long. So we had some good times, good memories. Sean says, Rob, will you have security at the watch show? I actually will have security at the watch show. So pretty much every event I go to, there will be a layer of security. Time for Watches says you can get an orange Planet Ocean for steel. I don't know if I want the orange bezel. I kind of want the all full black, or I might do the full black. I think they did a black bezel with orange indexes. I can't remember if that was one of the models. I'm not opposed to the orange, but it seems like it fades quicker than the black does. So I think I want to go full black, which is what the 2201.50 or something like that. I'm still learning these numbers. So what was wrong with the watch on eBay? So when I see Orange Planet Ocean, I think Chaz. He kind of owns that colorway. Oh, Chaz from the Berg has one? I'll have to hit him up. Okay, so MM10 saying the watch issue was the description for the eBay watch was like new, but it had like scratches not presented on photos. So eBay sent photos. Wow, that's good that they go like to that layer instead of just checking to make sure it's authentic watch and then sending it to you and then you have to deal with it. They're actually doing like almost like a quality control on it. Will Carey says hidden security. There actually will. I do have people around me that will be a layer of security. Rich L says, Rob, yes, the 2201.50 is what you want. That is the original one that I wanted. And there might be some variants of it that I would be game for as well. Wet Watches is asking, he's curious to see if the loom on the Tiffany is better than the Neptune. They both suck. I can tell you that. They both suck. But most swatches do suck. Justin is asking, why does he need security? Everybody needs a little bit of security. Eugene says, favorite watch under 4K. Favorite watch under 4K. Under 4,000, I think I'm torn between. These are both well under 4, though. So, like, well, used. They're, well, even new, the Longines is actually less than 4, and the Breitling, I think, is like 4 new. Um, I mean, I have 2 Super Oceans, and if they did a titanium with a green dial on this, I'd probably pick that up too. What else? You know, if you're lucky, you might be able to pick up a Pelly just under 4. Is that doable? I can't remember what I paid for this. I mean, if you can pick up a Tudor Pelly for around 4, yeah, that's a sweet deal. Danny, yeah, Black Bay 58 under 4, definitely a killer choice. BM, I have not reviewed very many Nomos watches. I was just looking at the Nomos clubs again recently. Rich L says, he owns the Omega 2201.50 after the full Omega service if you'd like. Send me some. Well, are you looking to sell it, Rich? Yeah, email me, Rich. If you're looking to sell it or something, then yeah, I'm interested if it's clean and stuff and we can verify its authenticity. Thoughts on the Black Bay Pro? I think awesome design, awesome looking watch. It needs to be at least 1 millimeter thinner. Then I'm interested. The current thickness, not interested at all. Sam's dad says, do I think the Tudor 1926 looks good enough? I think the 1926 looks amazing. I like the kind of white dial with the blued hands that on leather. That one looks killer. Bruce Williams is checking in. Hello, Mr. Bruce. Tennessee Mike agrees with the Oris Aquas Caliber 400 because he actually owns one. So he's speaking with his money. 1926 is great. And 1926 is a great watch, and it's a very good price. But also, look at the Longines sector dial. I forget what it's called or whatever. That one's a really good deal, too. The Shane says, did you see the new Winfield watch? I'm kind of digging it. Just, I don't know if I want to spend $500. It's a really cool watch. I know they just did a blast advertisement on Instagram. So they do good stuff. I did a couple of videos on them. You can definitely go check it out. All right, I'm going to end the live stream. Thanks for chiming in, everybody. Let me kill the lights so you can see the loom or lack of loom on the moon swatches as well. So, of course, Seiko's good. Here's the moon swatches. They have loom, but it's weak. Actually, even the loom on this, that's terrible. So Achilles heel on the Seiko Chrono that I like, it literally has like no loom. Other than that, I really like the watch. Tudor Pelly, amazing loom. Excellent loom all over, bezel and dial. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.